I'm gonna tell you a story, or Gayatri Sangeeta too, sing a song. And if you know me, perhaps you know I'll be the Sakuna that I'll talk to you though. I'll be Sangeeta, Zakuna. I'll mostly speak to you, but sometime I'll sing a bit, and sometime it's a lot, dot, 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 dot. Wow, not working on I'm not working on Ballarat Merc anymore. It's what this is. Alright, so you can call me Oracle. I'm going to talking to you. First thing you have to understand is time doesn't work the way you think it does. And now we're gonna talk about the elements of periodic table. Starts with hydrogen, pradhanaka, and helium mulavarata, lithium muladata, Datu and beryllium mula rasa caterpillar mula rasa pashka carbon calcilia nitrogen prakrit oxygen amakara fluorine biorasanavan neon zugrasoki satavaya dazan sodium vixara magnesium earthy tattooed dasa aluminium, as they say in Britain, Svatiano within. And silicon psychotia, Pisa phosphorus, Piscalaya phosphorescence, as they say, sulfur gandaka. But if you're talking alchemy, that be Devayoni Rakta. And we're moving on with chlorine raja and argonatha vahu asadaza, potassium sargi, calcium chareya, scandium viladatu. Ekavim zati, titanium azaradatu, vanadium sakaradatu, 23. Chromium varnaka, manganese sakaradatu. So, a lot of these are actually just legitimately the names of the elements, just translated into Sanskrit. But some of them, for example, neon, Zukrasokis, Adabayo, Dada. Now I have no idea if this is what actually someone who like knows Sanskrit and knows chemistry would actually call neon, but essentially it's the brightly colored noble gas 10 is what I translated as. Some of these are actually pretty entertaining. For example, titanium is Asuradatu, or literally Titan metal, because one of the Asura is one of those words that can actually mean a lot in Sanskrit if there's a lot of definitions for it. One of them is actually God, but there's or deity, or that it's one of many words for deity. But there's also it's also the word for Titan, which is why it became Asura Datu, because it's titanium. And like scandium, like the entire I'm not gonna do promethium. I'll get to it in a minute, but a lot of them like the lanthanide series is basically just like rare metal a come through counter dozen. But anyway, there's magnesium zakara datu 25, iron is ayakul katwatu katwatu nickel paka copper tamra zinc sapyatu maya gallium vista vadatu. I forgot which one that was. Germanium, Germani days, datu. There's actually a number of these that are, for those who don't know a lot about how elements are named, they're oftentimes named unless they have a common name from back before they started needing to be named by like a commission, by like the chemistry commission, International Chemistry Commission, like essentially. They're usually named after the area or the town that they were discovered in, or they're named for, especially like ever since sometime in like the 50s 60s, when Mendelssohn made, I think it's Mendelssohn, but anyway, a Russian gentleman effectively made the periodic table as we know it. Ever since then, they basically they name new elements after who discovers it, because that makes sense. Because surprisingly enough, chemists want things to make sense. Who would imagine such a thing? German. So that's why Germany means Germane Desa, Germany country. Datu, element, mineral. It's generally speaking mineral or metal. Arsenic is kunati, selenium, somadatu, or moon mineral. Bromine, putidatu, or stench mineral, because bromine smells. Krypton, arthavius, cetrum, vatsara, or noble gas 36. Rubidium, merdudatu, soft metal, strontium, perfidatu, or earth metal 38. Yttrium, violadatu, nivetrium dot, or rare metal number 39, zirconium, masatya, zvarna, or false gold, because zirconium is sometimes called false gold. Not pyrite, believe it or not. Um, actually, it's not called false gold. Well, actually, sometimes I think it actually was sometimes called false gold, but it's oftentimes very difficult to distinguish from gold, despite the fact they are of very different atomic weights. Niobium, Caradatu 41, molybdenum, Sisa, or false lead. Molybdenum had the same problem with lead that zirconium has with gold. Technetium or Wailadatu or technique metal. Yeah, yeah, that's literally what why technetium is named like that. Ruthenium, Kirkalasa, or chameleon datu because of Shadowrun. Literally, that's why I named it that. I don't care what they call it. I'm calling it chameleon metal. Rhodium Datu 45 palladium Palestevata Datu because it's named after Pallas Athenia. Duh, that's why we call it that though. Silver Rajata cadmium Theapasana Jamala. There's a specific reason for that, but I don't remember it, so moving on. Nila Patri Datu is indium for indigo, and tin is trapu, and that's 58 elements. And that's like basically half the periodic table. And Timoni is Savira and Tellurian Bumi for Earth, because it was named after the Earth. Iodine Jambuka and Xenon Asavayu. 54, because it's the noble gas of the ways before. Cesium Gati Datu. Wish I remembered why I did that. And, barium is something. Oh, it's the element above it plus a com. Because interesting thing about unnamed elements is they will sometimes refer to it by the element above where it should be on the periodic table, but with the Sanskrit for one, a com. Like it's actually apparently Sanskrit is actually commonly used in some parts of like I guess it was sometimes commonly used back in the day in chemistry. Maybe I don't know. It would make sense because a lot of chemistry, in terms of modern like understanding of it, is based on people doing alchemy back in the day, and like admittedly they were doing it with like magic in mind, with like, oh, I'm gonna live forever and like learn how to turn lead into gold, which theoretically, if you could actually get to the, I'm talking about like theoretical physics where it intersects with chemistry. If we could figure out a way to chop to just like, whoop, I'm gonna lunate or sunote. I'm gonna extract or sever two protons from the center of the nucleus. Then then we'd be in business. Then we could take like literal actual lead atoms and then make it into gold because they're only like two off. But like that's what like if we could actually do this with magic, it'd be like, okay, I know theoretically how to do this. Lunete or sunote. Sunote. One of the two. It would have to be one of the two. Anyway, and then there's lantanium virala duta datu and cerium virala datu de. Oh yes. So lanthium is virala datu a calm, and all the way to virala datu catodaza we have cerium praseodymium neodymium, promethium, samarium, rupium, gadolinium, terbium, dysprosium, holmium, erbium, and thulium, ending with their terbium. By the way, if anyone has played Warhammer 40k, promethium is is a rare metal that is actually used in that system. I don't know if the people from Fantasy Flight Games like actually understand what it is, because I think most people assume promethium is supposed to be like gasoline or agnatile, I should say. But like, moving on. Oh, atomic weight while we're at it is paramanu bara. And then we have lutetium, uh, lutetium, which is Paris Nagata Datu, because that's actually based on an old name for Paris. Hafnium is Hafnia Nagara, Hafni Nagara Datu, because it's for Copenhagen. It's from Hatha, which is an old name for Copenhagen. Titanium is Yamadatu because of Tantalus and stuff. Tungsten is Vajramaya because it's the strongest stuff on Earth. If I'm going to call something adamantine, it may as well be that. True fact, they're all the Earth. Rhenium, Rhine, Nadi Datu, because it was discovered in Germany, but Germany would be taken later, true. Or I was already taken in the true. Then there is osmia orthodotus 76, one of the noble metals, because osmium really kicks. There's platinum Zuki Datu, which is there's iridium Iris Devata Datu, similar to palladium in the naming scheme, but with the goddess Iris. And there's platinum Zuki Datu, which is white metal, because I named it before I realized that there was a whole noble metal series. There's gold Varna and mercury Parada and thallium. Oh, I should probably name that because I skipped it. Oh well. Let his cease and bismuth be Datu. Woo! Polonium Polandesa Datu because it's named after Poland by Marie Curie. Astatine Eka because it's... Oh yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. Back in the day before acetine was named acetine, it's under the periodic table by 1, so it was named Eka iodine. Not even joking. Radon Artha Vayu Sadaziti, because it's a noble gas 86 finalist series. The francium Francedesa Datu, radium Usna Datu, actinium. I believe Usna Datu is hot metal. I believe I named that hot metal. Actinium Krishna Varnika Com. Black Mask Com. That's basically because it's the first thing that was discovered by a dude who was researching pitch blende, which is where most radioactive materials come from, as far as like a lot of them. Not most, I would say, but because I actually haven't researched that far, but definitely a lot of them, because it's where plutonium and radium and also actinium come from. But pitch blende I named Krishna Vernika because that's essentially the closest direct translation. A com because it was the first thing that was discovered or extracted after or sunnited from pitch blende after with what was left of the pitch blende after Marie Curie and her husband isolated radium. There, you get some learning about science history too. And there's thorium Vidyut because it's a reference to Vidyut as thunder. I actually know Vidyut is lightning, so it's basically lightning metal because of Thor and thorium. Protactinium metadatu, brief mineral, because that has an extremely short half-life. Uranium navadevadatu, because it's named after the god of the sea. Because it's named after the god of the sky. Nava, sky, deva, datu, because it's uranium. Neptunium mahadadi devadatu, mineral of the god of the great sea. America de Sadatu, Americanium, or Americium. Number 95, just named America. And number 4, because I accidentally did some of these out of order. Plutonium usnium madatu, hot metal of Pluto. Because there's another one that's also Yamadatu, that's also Pluto metal, but it's also not plutonium. So plutonium's the hot one. This is mostly for me, so like don't assume. Other than things like most of the things like is me directly translating what they are in English into Sanskrit, or being like a couple of times poetic. I mostly tell you the times I'm being poetic about stuff. There is Curium Curiavadatu, Curie, Madame Curie, Ava, naming, Datu, metal. And Berkelium Berkeley Vela Datu, Berkeley Coast metal. Californians, California, Veladatu, same thought. Einsteinium, Einsteina, Veladatu, and Fermium, Pascat, Patanadatu. And I'm not going to do the other 18 for now. But molecule is Gananu, and that's the way I be. And also, what's to say, I know what's to, what do I say? Alright. Now that I've done this, now that I've done most of the periodic table, I don't really feel like I've done 100. I've done zata. If you want to rag on me for not doing the other Asadaza, that's on you. And so I'm gonna do the wheel of the year, starting with February, because we're getting close to the end of the year. At least I am when recording this for ye. There's the holiday, or the virama, or the wild harmia. That would be in Bulgut, sometimes seen as Valentine's by Manas Kitra of the Hridaya. And Malika Kama Harmia is the way that be. And then we have the Vidya Harya Kirya of the vernal equinox or St. Patrick's Day for the Mahavasuva and Haripada. Those be vernal equinoxes. Oh, they are. Oh man, I got the wrong set of notes. Oh well, I'm just gonna keep on rolling. So, summer solstice, Uttarayana, most associated with Priyadata, because that's the way it rolls. The second half of the year, which is the 6 months going from the summer solstice to the winter solstice, is Udagayana. The winter solstice is Dakshinayana. There's a couple other words for it. We just passed the autumnal equinox for Halloween, and we also are just past the Harvest Festival, which would be represented in Asvina, Asvina, Kenita, and Visupada. And as we approach the end of the year, we got the way of Yule and Christmas here. We have the Festival of Lights, Dipamaliket Sava, the Feast of Lights, Deeput Sava, and of course, if you do parades, there's Procession of Lights, Zobhayatra Dipya, and Gloria Festival of Lights, Dipamatmiya. Because even back in the day, they had things like, harvest festivals. They didn't have Thanksgiving per se, but they had harvest festivals. Cornucopia is real old, yo. Just saying. They maybe didn't have per se Halloween, but they had the core concept of Sana? Virama. A Virana Pazakaba of the Pandemonium holiday, which is essentially what, Halloween is. So, if it seems weird to you that I'm Buddhist, but still talking about the festival lights in a Christmas kind of way, I also talked about the Tailat Sava of the oil festival for Hanukkah. So it shouldn't be surprising you if you're at this point as at the same way like I've been making them, so they say. And this is Oracle, and I'm saying to you, Vrata Pasyati Bhavati Paravatara. If I don't see you in this life, rather see you in another life by the lost ways thereof. Man, I love that show. Talking about Panajana Mavatara. See you next time, brother, if you wanna. But if you be sister, I'll be fine with that too. See you in another life, if not in this one true.